Today I have a old Winchester Model 94 in 22 Magnum. It's a little rusty from being stored in a high humidity environment and not being cleaned or oiled for many years. Actually cleaning it up for a friend, and right now I'm letting the main screw right here for the frame soak in a little oil because it's a little tight. I've already taken off this sight piece that was on the back. We're just going to use the iron sights once it's all cleaned up. But if you look, you can see it's got quite a bit of rust, pitting, and discoloring. But I think it'll clean up well. I'm going to take it all apart, clean the internals, and then hopefully clean up most of the rust, lube it up, put it back together, test fire it, all that stuff. But first I've got to get it apart and look inside it and make sure it looks like it's in good enough condition to even fire it. But so far it looks okay. It's just very rusty. There's a tropical storm that used to be a hurricane outside beating down on my house, so you can probably hear the rain in the background. And actually this is just the beginning of it as I film today. If the power stays on, it'll probably get worse. You'll hear more of the wind and rain later, I'm sure. So I'm not going to put every minute of taking this apart on the camera, but just going to try and show the before and after and some of the progress as we get rolling. If you look close though, you can see there's quite a bit of pitting and rust. And I just kind of want to get some of it documented so that when I clean it and put it back together, we'll be able to tell the difference. I'm not going to re-blue anything. I'm not doing any of that because this is sort of an old family heirloom type of piece, and it's all original as far as I can tell. And you know, I don't want to wreck it. Just want to kind of clean it up and refurb it. The wood seems to be in really good shape. There's some scratches and dings, but no big cracks as far as I can tell. And since it wasn't oiled a lot or taken good care of, there's not a ton of oil staining in the wood. There's a little bit. Years ago somebody did oil it. That's what that oil staining right there is from. But it's not like rot, you know, where the wood gets punky. So hopefully this will clean up nice and it'll be restored enough to be kind of kept clean for the years to come. And then my friend can hang on to it as a family heirloom. this is going to end up being a multi-part video, so I'm going to make this the end of part 1. So far I've taken everything apart, cleaned all of the small pieces in kerosene, rubbed things down with oil, gone through this quite extensively, cleaning it and then oiling it, so it definitely looks a lot better, but it's still got some rust on it. The really rusty parts were rubbed with 4O ultrafine steel wool and some oil. I've still got to get this rust off of the ammunition tube, the magazine, tubular magazine. I've got to figure out this little oil-soaked piece of wood is the nub from in here, inside in there. It was broken off inside the frame already. So maybe or maybe not, that might be held in place with some glue. We'll see. So this fire control, trigger, lever, all that stuff, hammer, it's all rusty. I'm letting it soak in a mixture right now of automatic transmission fluid, kerosene, and mineral spirits. Scrubbing it with a toothbrush, rubbing it down with some rags and stuff. Just trying to clean it up. Probably going to rub the rustiest parts with a little 4O steel wool and then re-oil it and let it set like I did for the barrel and the receiver. I'm going to do all that. All the little parts have been rubbed and oiled and they're looking really nice now. The barrel band is in much better condition now. The pits we'll never get rid of, but at least we can darken them up and get the orange crusty rust off the surface. You just got to be very careful, because if you rub too much you'll actually rub through the bluing, and also if you're using the steel wool and the oxide, the iron oxide, the rust, as it comes off the metal surface, it can get embedded inside the steel wool, and if you're not careful and you're pushing too hard, you'll end up scratching the steel that's there with the iron oxide that came off and is now embedded in the steel wool. So you want to be very careful about that as well. Use a new piece of steel wool on each part, essentially a small little piece, and make sure you keep it well oiled to get the iron oxide in solution and pulled off the metal. You don't want to scratch it up. The idea is, this is very shiny and looks great. In the beginning video, this had a lot of bright orange rust, like just rot on it. Most of that is gone now, and what's left behind is just a little bit of surface pitting. Okay, I'm really not going to clean that up anymore. I'm going to oil it a second time. I'm probably going to clean and oil everything, put it back together, test fire it, and then take it completely apart again and re-oil and clean everything. But not till after I've done it once completely and I'm happy with the results. The wood stock has come out really nice after being polished a couple times with carnauba wax. Originally it was cleaned with lemon oil. I did a couple coats of lemon oil on all of the wood to get the grunge off of it and clean it. Once that was done, I wiped it off with a clean rag and then put a couple coats of carnauba wax on it, and now it looks great. So this is going to be the end of the part 1 video. I know it's kind of long, and I know that all of it together is going to be long, but the idea is to let you see the progress and to see what we're doing to conserve this old rifle. And that's what it is. It's conservation. I'm not trying to reblue it. I'm not trying to fix everything or make it perfect. I want it conserved so that my friend can get his grandfather's old rifle back, and it's not rusty, it's not wrecked, it's operational, and hopefully with a little maintenance every year of kind of wiping it down, oiling it, taking care of it now, for the rest of its usable life, it'll be taken care of by somebody. That's the idea. So this is the end of part 1. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.